My doctor has been banging on about me living a healthier life. And instead of getting another doctor and a second opinion, I thought I might cave in a little bit and start adding some healthy ingredients to my life. Now, I'm using this toasted muesli in something that I really, really love. I'm going to make a cake out of it. Now, this is Australian muesli with macadamia and cranberries, and it's an Australian company, which is the most important thing. But when I make a cake out of it, it makes it nice and crunchy, lots of texture, and really delicious and healthy as well. Now, what I've got in here is some self-raising flour already, and I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients for the cake. I've got some buttermilk, a full cup of that goes straight into it. And this is a great recipe because I throw it all in the Magimix and let it whiz around, and it comes together as a beautiful batter. Now, we need some butter in here as well, and I'm using unsalted butter. And what I did is I left the butter out last night so it's nice and soft. And that will mean when it blends around in the Magimix, it comes together nice and easily. In goes the butter. I've got some golden syrup as well. You could use maple syrup or honey or whatever you like. Just that little bit of caramelised sweetness is delicious. And of course, 4 Australian whole eggs. Cracked already? In they go. Now, we all love a bit of spice in our life. I've got some ginger, some cinnamon, some nutmeg and allspice, about a teaspoon of each, and in they go. That'll make it really delicious. Now, sugar, we need some sweetness. I've got some brown sugar, in it goes, and I've got some baking powder to give it a bit of lift, and some bicarb as well, about a teaspoon of each. And because I love sugar and I love the sweetness and the energy that sugar gives, I've got some caster sugar in there as well. And because I love this muesli so much, a little secret, I do love muesli, I'm going to add a handful of muesli into the mixture so that the muesli will blend with everything else, and I will add some more later. But we'll get some into the blender like this and then pop the lid on, whiz it round for a couple of minutes till I get a nice batter that's all well combined and no lumps in there, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, it didn't take long at all, and I've got this lovely smooth cake batter. And what I'll do is I'll use a spatula to put it straight into the bowl. This is another little thing that I'm going to do to add some extra nutrition. Priya would say rainbows. I'm not going to use that word. I'm going to add nutrition, crunch, flavour, all of the nice things that I like to put in my cooking. Now, what I want is some extra crunch, and nothing gives you extra crunch than macadamia nuts and oats and seeds and all of the healthy things. So I'm going to add about a cup of the muesli straight into the bowl here. And then I'll fold it through because I want lots of that crunchy texture through the entire cake batter. Now, I'm using a cake tin here. This is called a Kugelhof tin. Some people call it a bundt tin. I've buttered it around the outside and then just dusted some flour into it so it's nicely coated. That's another way of making sure it doesn't stick. This is non-stick already, but by taking that extra precaution, make sure that nothing will stick to it. And then all you need to do is pour the batter into the cake tin like this, and you can see it spreading all the way around. I love using these cake tins because they look fantastic and they're really, really easy to use. Just spoon all of that out there, and I'm going to make sure there's a little bit of mixture here for me to taste later on. And while I'm here, I'm using muesli, so I might as well use it like I stole it. So another handful around the outside like this, and this will toast up beautifully as the cake is cooking in the oven. Now, I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees Celsius. It'll take about 35 to 40 minutes to cook. A little skewer in there. When it comes out nice and clean, you know it's cooked all the way through. Into the oven we go. I've let my cake cool down a little bit so it contracts slightly, and that'll make it easy to pull it out of the tin. Now, this is my way of doing it. You might want to do it another way, but I like to just flip it over like this, tip it over onto the plate, and then it's just a matter of grabbing the sides of it and just slowly pulling it up like that. Oh, yes, that looks fantastic. You can see nothing stuck in the bottom there. That's because I buttered and floured the outside of it. That's looking good and smelling fantastic as well, but I want to dole it up a little bit. So I'm just going to put some icing on here. And I've got some icing sugar here, a little bit of warm water, and it's just a matter of mixing it together till you get a lovely thick sort of icing to go over the top of it. We want to pour it on the top so it looks like snow and stir it around like that. You can see that comes together really, really quickly. Now, as the cake is nice and warm, the icing will go over the top of it and flow down the side and give it that lovely white sort of look. There we go. Look at that. That looks fantastic, and it'll also moisten the cake. Not that it needs any moistening, it'll just moisten it up just that little bit more. Spread that around there like that, and then because we love the muesli so much, we're going to sprinkle some on the outside. Lovely crunchy muesli with macadamia nuts and cranberries in it as well. Look at that, sprinkle that over there like that, all the way down the side there. It looks like a Christmas cake, doesn't it? Fantastic. All the way down there like that. That looks lovely. And then some icing sugar on top just to make it even more delicious. That looks like a lovely cake. Plenty all over the top there. It's still nice and warm, so I'm getting all those lovely flavours off there. That's a crack of a cake. It's so easy to do and really healthy for you as well.